On December 15, 1900, a relief crew arrived at the Flannan Isles Lighthouse, off the west coast of Scotland, only to find it completely deserted. 3 lighthouse keepers, James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald McArthur, had mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind no sign of their whereabouts. Their lighthouse, a beacon for ships navigating the dangerous waters of the North Atlantic, was eerily well kept, with the lamp still burning and the doors securely locked. But there was no trace of the men, no footprints, no signs of a struggle, and no clear explanation. The mystery of what happened to the 3 men on the Flannan Isles has captivated people for over a century, spawning numerous theories, some rational, others utterly fantastical. What happened to these men? Did a natural disaster take their lives? Or was there something far more sinister at play? In this video, we'll dive deep into the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Mystery, exploring the chilling details of the disappearance, the theories that have emerged, and the legacy of one of the most baffling maritime mysteries in history. Stay with us as we unravel the eerie tale of the Flannan Isles, where the unknown continues to linger. Before we can begin to understand the mystery, we need to understand the setting, the Flannan Isles themselves. The Flannan Isles are a small group of rocky, uninhabited islands located around 15 miles, 24 kilometres, west of the Isle of Lewis, off the coast of Scotland. The islands are part of the Outer Hebrides, a remote and rugged region known for its harsh weather conditions and isolation from the mainland. The lighthouse on the largest of the islands, Eerie, was built in 1899 to help ships navigate the dangerous waters of the North Atlantic, where treacherous rocks and unpredictable weather often spelled doom for vessels. The lighthouse was positioned high on the cliffs, overlooking the ocean below, a precarious location that demanded constant vigilance. It was a solitary, difficult life for the men who tended the lighthouse. They were cut off from the rest of the world, with the nearest town located many miles away. Supplies were delivered by boat, and the men were responsible for keeping the light burning, maintaining the equipment, and making sure that the lighthouse remained operational at all times. The conditions were grueling, and the isolation was absolute. But despite the hardships, the lighthouse keepers had a duty to ensure the safety of the sailors navigating the stormy seas. Their role was crucial, and their routine was rigid. On December 15, 1900, the relief crew was due to arrive at the Flannan Isles Lighthouse to replace the 3 men who had been stationed there. As per their usual schedule, they sailed from the mainland to check on the lighthouse, deliver supplies, and rotate the keepers. The relief crew arrived at the island, expecting the usual exchange of personnel. However, when they arrived at the lighthouse, they were met with an unsettling silence. The lighthouse appeared to be in good working order, but there was no sign of the keepers. The lamp was still burning, and the door to the lighthouse was locked, but the men were nowhere to be found. After trying to locate the men, the relief crew became increasingly concerned. They found no trace of the keepers in the lighthouse, and there were no signs of any visitors or guests. The keepers' personal belongings were left behind. Their oilskins, raincoats, and boots were neatly placed inside the lighthouse, as if they had left only moments earlier. The bed sheets were undisturbed, suggesting they hadn't gone to sleep recently. The clocks inside the lighthouse had stopped, but most disturbing of all, there was no sign of any struggle or signs of what could have happened to the men. The relief crew immediately reported their findings, and an official investigation was launched. Authorities combed the island, but they found no clues as to where the keepers had gone or why they had disappeared. There were no signs of a violent struggle, no footprints in the mud, and no signs of any kind of forced entry or distress. The men's logbook, which they kept as part of their duties, was also found. But the last entry was a perplexing one. On December 12, 1900, just 3 days before the relief crew's arrival, the logbook recorded an ominous entry. Storm. The storm is over, and the sea is calm. God is over all. But there were no further details. The men's final recorded words offered no explanation for their disappearance. So, what happened to the 3 keepers of the Flannan Isles? The mystery deepened, and many theories emerged. One of the most logical theories suggests that a violent storm may have caused the keepers' disappearance. The Flannan Isles are known for their fierce storms, which can whip the ocean into a frenzy in a matter of minutes. The logbook's final entry refers to a storm that had just passed, which might have been a clue. It's possible that the men, after the storm subsided, went out to tend to the lighthouse or to check on equipment. Some believe that the men may have fallen victim to rough seas while trying to perform their duties. Perhaps one or more of them fell from the cliffs, or they were swept into the sea by a rogue wave. But there was no evidence of this, and the men were all experienced lighthouse keepers who would have been cautious in such conditions. Furthermore, the lighthouse was well maintained, and the light was still burning, suggesting that the men had been taking care of their responsibilities right up until the moment they vanished. Another theory posits that the men's disappearance could have been the result of human error or negligence. It's possible that one of the keepers was overwhelmed by the storm and made a poor decision, perhaps leaving the lighthouse in a fit of fear or frustration. They may have tried to rescue a fellow keeper or go out on an errand, only to meet an untimely fate. However, this theory doesn't explain why there was no sign of any distress, struggle, or confusion. Perhaps the most captivating theory surrounding the disappearance of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse keepers is the idea of supernatural involvement. For centuries, the harsh waters and isolated nature of the Flannan Isles have given rise to tales of ghosts, sea spirits, and other eerie legends. Some believe that the keepers were taken by forces beyond the realm of human understanding, spirits of sailors lost at sea or other ethereal beings. One popular legend suggests that the 3 keepers might have angered the sea gods, and in retaliation, they were claimed by supernatural forces. Other accounts suggest that the men could have been haunted by the ghosts of past lighthouse keepers, or that they experienced a paranormal event that caused them to vanish. This theory is alluring, especially given the eerie nature of the disappearance and the haunting isolation of the Flannan Isles. But it remains speculative and unproven. In more recent years, some have suggested that the 3 men may have been victims of foul play, perhaps murdered by someone else. The isolation of the island could have provided an ideal setting for such a crime, but there is little to suggest that the keepers had any enemies. Furthermore, there were no signs of violence, no missing items, and no motive for a crime. While this theory cannot be ruled out entirely, it remains one of the least likely. Over the years, the disappearance of the lighthouse keepers has become a source of intrigue, speculation, and even artistic inspiration. The mystery continues to attract interest from those who are drawn to the unknown and unexplained. New theories emerge from time to time, adding to the complex and eerie puzzle that is the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Mystery. As of today, the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Mystery remains unsolved. Despite numerous investigations, and despite the passage of over a century, no one knows for sure what happened to James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald McArthur. Theories range from a natural disaster to supernatural causes, and the eerie silence surrounding the event continues to captivate the imagination of people worldwide. What do you think happened to the keepers? Were they victims of a storm Or did they fall prey to something far darker and more mysterious? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating true crime and unsolved mystery content.